All right. I mean, it's obvious, right? But I just gotta ask though, like, how did you get the name White Boy?
Really, I was just in the studio one day with Sleaze, and he was like, "Bro, we gotta get a hard ass tag for you." And he was just in there. He's like, "Yeah." He said, "Shit, what did he say?" He said, "Is G on the beat?" Yeah, you know Gage did it. White boy made this, and he went, "Ooh!" He's like, "I got it. That's it. That's it." He's like, "That's gonna be your tag." White boy made this, and he made like 4 or 5 of them for me,
Oh
and
shit.
so I'm like, "Fuck it." I checked Instagram to see if it was an open name. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. That's gonna be my name. It's easy. It's marketable.
It makes sense. It
Because
just
most people ask the same question, like, "Can I call you white boy? Like, is that okay?"
what did I call you? Like, yo, okay, all right, man.
So at the very least, you're gonna remember me from my name.
Absolutely. 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 Hey, what's up, Guan? Bonjour, famille. It's Bump Jonas, and I'm here with.
White boy made this.
And we're about to have a sit down and sack show. Let's get started. White Boy Made This, man. That's so hard. Okay, so something I didn't realize going in and kind of like reintroduced me was the fact that, I mean, not only do you work out of mid range, but you're connected to sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because and I was gonna mention or kind of I just wanted to touch on the fact that like you have Grammy nominated, you're ranked, you're well connected when it comes to your placements and shit. And so, but I hadn't realized like that was also one of them. So it's like, holy shit. Okay, well, thank you for being here, man. Shit, you know.
My pleasure, man.
Oh
My
shit.
pleasure. This is actually my first podcast.
Swear.
Swear to God.
Sprinkle some salt for that, motherfuckers. Let's go. All right, man. So, first of all, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, your time, your schedule. This is probably the most cliche, one of the more cliche questions I'm going to ask you. Who is White Boy Made It? White Boy Made This? What do you do and why?
What do you mean by who is he?
Who are you? What is he? Like, is he a beat maker? Is he a producer? Is
Okay,
he an
I got you.
engineer? You know?
Well, kind of all of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. I do pretty much anything and everything when it comes to music,
Oh.
and audio in general.
Oh.
So I started out as an artist, believe it or not. Long story short, basically in the foster system, they force you to go through, at least here in Missouri, I don't know about other states,
Okay.
but they force you to go through a year's worth of counseling and have a psych evaluation when you're admitted in.
Okay.
So one of the things that I was doing while in counseling, they were asking me to like write down my feelings, but I was in 7th grade. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not gonna write down my feelings. Like, what kind of shit is that?
Right.
7th grade boy, you don't want to.
Don't
No.
even want to. I mean,
No.
the amount of feelings that are gonna come out, or the rough. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
Good
I'm
call.
like, man, you know what? I had a knack for poetry, and my therapist kept kind of like pushing me on it, like try it.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I started writing things down in the form of poetry, and slowly to me that started to turn into music.
Yep. Yep.
And so I started writing about how I felt in a poetic way, and it just kind of evolved from that.
Wow.
My dumbass, instead of learning how to, instead of like getting on YouTube to find beats, I was YouTubing how to make beats because I didn't realize that people put beats on YouTube.
Oh, so you were like, you were 100% just starting from scratch.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
you didn't know no better, but that's fire though. Because I mean, look at where you are then.
Right. It's been a journey. After I finally got my beats to not sound like hot trash, I needed my recordings to not sound like hot trash.
Right.
So at that point, I'm like, okay, this mixing shit, this is advanced. I decided I wanted to go to school for mixing.
Oh shit.
So as a young adult, I decided I don't want to go to college at all. I didn't want to.
Right.
My aunt, my uncle, they were pushing me at least go to a trade school.
Okay.
So I picked up a school that I did online from my basement in my aunt's house.
He said, "Fuck school."
Yeah, I'm like, this is no.
I'm not going nowhere.
I'm never gonna be sitting at a $400,000 SSL console desk wondering how many cells were in the wood that make up this console. So it didn't. To me, it just didn't make sense to me to like do the gen eds and go to
That was some knowledge
like
right
go
there.
to learn trigonometry and advanced algebra and physics. Like it just didn't interest me.
Just get me to where I needed to learn on the shit that I was interested in that was gonna like be most effective for me.
Right.
Boom. Okay.
So I ended up going to the school, actually on my lanyard, wherever I put my keys at, probably in my jacket.
That's a hard jacket, by the way.
Thank you. Shout out Father Figure, stand up-ish.
Oh shit, father figure. Okay.
Yeah.
You produce for him as well?
I haven't gotten him on any of my beats yet, but
Okay.
I've been recording all of his stuff.
It's in the works. Okay, so that's right, because not only do you make the beats, you like you said, you do everything.
Everything.
Okay. All right.
But Florida Institute Recording Sound and Technology, a little 11-month program, did it online at home. Believe it or not, it's surprisingly cheap.
Okay, wait. You took an online class on engineering? Mm-hmm. That was your trade. Okay, first of all, that's slick of you to like, hey, just take a trade or something. All right, fine. I'm gonna pick the one that I guess it's not slick. That's the wrong word. It's very self-aware. You know what I mean? And there's always a point in my interviews where I like to give people their flowers and their kudos. I think it's important that they get it before they blow up. And I might be a little bit late for you, you know what I mean? You're doing your thing, but I feel like you still got a lot more on your path and things that you want to accomplish. So
I hope so.
I have to say, first of all, you're such a unassuming and humble guy in the way that you come off, and that actually is the same energy in the DMs and in the text, right? You're just very chill, and that's the same energy. So I love that. But the other part is the self-awareness that you showed at an early age, and I think it's there now. So that's something that I always find, what's the right word? Refreshing, because a lot of people are just completely unaware of the shit they put themselves in or put themselves through. You know what I mean? So kudos to you.
I think a lot of that probably comes from like watching my family. My family, a lot of my family, unfortunately, they're lost with their lives. Like they're not doing anything, or they're on drugs, or going down a path that I looked at and I had no interest in whatsoever.
So have you found yourself distant from your family?
As bad as it sounds, I would say yeah,
Okay.
more than not.
So you have some connection or none at all?
I have some connection.
Okay.
You know, I gotta call my grandma at least once every 2 weeks at the very minimum, right? But everybody else, I don't really.
Like, yeah, I see you when I see you, kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'll see you at Thanksgiving. That might just be about it.
And that's just because of the circumstances, the mind state, the energy. Like, nah, I'm over here with this, and I don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay. I do got to probe just a little bit. I don't like to get too far into personal stuff, but you had mentioned foster. Okay, so, and that was in 7th grade, but then you mentioned family. So is that family through the foster system, or is that like you had a circumstance that you were in the foster system for a stint of sorts?
So, yes and no.
Okay.
My aunt, my biological aunt, my mother's sister,
Okay.
and her husband, they were able to adopt me through the foster system.
Got you. Okay.
I was put in because DFS decided, hey, like we got enough info. Like
There's too much going on.
Shutting that guy down.
Okay.
So grab me.
How do you have a certain humor about yourself too? That's another thing that, like, you kind of like. I don't want to interrupt you, but man, you're a funny dude too, man. I love it. But okay.
Man, I forgot where I was.
Well, the long and short though is that you had mentioned foster, and then you mentioned aunt and uncle. So I'm like, okay, is that an adopted scenario?
Right.
But no, that's you had a stint of a bad situation, and they're like, okay, no, you can come stay with us.
Yeah.
And, okay.
But it was done through court and paperwork and a whole bunch of bullshit. But,
bunch of official.
Man, yeah. I was blessed because they're probably the only people in my family that like aren't totally fucked up.
Got you. So you landed in the right place.
The one and only spot, and I really feel like that's how my entire life has been. Like shit
Hold
gets
on.
real crazy, and then the one possibility where it doesn't end badly,
Is where
I'm
you are.
in there.
Okay, you on
Like
some
I'm cool.
white boy did this. Yo, that makes so much sense now, though, man. That's fire. Okay, so we kind of got the idea. One of the questions I usually ask people is like, how did you discover your talents? And we kind of already got that sense of things, right? I do need to take a quick step back. One question I always ask people is, what's for breakfast? Like, what is a hustler? And I assume you're a hustler because you are an engineer, a producer, a beat maker, right? And you're moving, you're selling, you're dealing with clients. That's hustle, right? So how do you start your day? Like, how does the day get going for you?
I mean, it really depends. It depends on what my schedule looks like for the day, or if there's a schedule for the day.
Got you. Okay.
Sometimes I get myself in a situation where I wake up to a phone call and I'm out the door. I don't even get breakfast.
Damn.
Fuck it, we straight to work.
Just hit the road. Okay.
Sometimes I'll linger around the house for a little bit, make some bacon, some eggs with my girl.
Okay.
We'll just kick it for a little bit.
All
That's how today was.
Okay. A little little
linger,
default, little chill.
We missed breakfast, so we tore up a salad. Believe it or not, with my big ass, I was fucking up a salad.
I told y'all he funny, man. This dude. You put some chicken on it or some steak?
Yeah,
see?
You gotta believe it. Chicken,
Blue
ranch,
cheese,
eggs.
ranch.
We got carrots though.
All right, we good. It's back healthy, y'all. It's not vegan, but it's healthy.
Yeah, not anywhere close.
Okay.
Vegan's worst nightmare.
Yo. So, okay. When you, and this is gonna be a good question for you. So, I mean, you really you went through engineering school. You also kind of went through like YouTube college, YouTube University, right? So, at some point, you get to a stance or like a skill level. You're like, all right, man, I'm with this. I got this, right? When you decide to jump off the porch, who are some people that you emulate or copy, I dare say, in terms of like when it comes to production or writing, when it comes to being an artist? Who are some people you studied?
So I really don't write anymore. Now I'm just the guy that has like a couple bars for you if you're stuck.
Okay.
But that's where I pretty much draw the line there. I've thought about getting back into writing just to try to branch out and expand, keep myself sharp.
Okay.
In case a scenario comes where I get a phone call, hey, we got Sabrina Carpenter. She wants to pitch some songs. Like, we gotta have something ready for it.
Right. Got it. Okay.
Any moment I can get a phone call that she's off a tour and
boom,
I'm getting flown out. So
wow.
But it's just something I've been dibbling dabbling in with recently. It's not anything serious though.
And that's more in the sense of like just really kind of having an additional piece in the toolkit and being able to go out there with all these different packages ready to lay out there and get the placement. But okay, so I kind of want to pick on your beginnings, like your upcomings, right? Like, who were some folks that you looked to or studied in a sense, or inspired you? Let's put it that way.
When I was first getting into like making beats, I think it was about like 2016, 2017.
Okay.
And
pre-pandemic, motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. That was like right at the prime of like Pure Bjorn and Metro Boomin, Lex Luger.
Okay.
Murder Beats was first starting to like really come out with some of his biggest hits
at
the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's got way harder shit now. So I really tried to study their sound to try to figure out how I can get something similar to it.
Okay.
Because for the longest time, my biggest problem wasn't like how can I develop, is how can I even get to not sounding like shit.
It's like I just don't want to sound like trash.
Dude, this morning I opened up my Snapchat and there was a memory on there from like 7 years ago.
Ooh.
And it was awful. It was of my little home studio in my aunt's basement. Terrible, not even close to studio monitors.
Right, yeah.
Blaring some beat that I made, and it was...
And were you just gigging out like, oh,
yeah, I thought it was hard.
Yeah.
I thought it was the hardest shit ever.
Now you're just cringing like,
no.
Oh,
I no.
Okay, wait. Do you remember? Do you remember the first beat you ever made?
Unfortunately, it haunts me to this day.
What did it, okay, give us just a snippet of what it sounded like. Can you like beatbox it a little bit? Like, was there a drum pattern or something? Like, boom, 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 boom. Like, was it?
Nothing was even on grid, so
Oh my god.
I couldn't do it wrong if I tried.
Okay, never mind. That's how bad it was. Oh my god.
It was bad.
Okay. Ooh. So, actually, what caused? I mean, so the real question is what caused you to take your talent seriously? Because I mean, this is something that you kind of discover through the process of the foster care interview, but in some points it's like, okay, this is how I can express myself. You go through the effort of learning it from scratch, and then it's like, no, this is going to be a trade that I'm using because I don't want to go to school. But there comes a point where like, no, I'm actually going to make an effort to make money from this and be professional. So what caused? Was there a certain incident? Was there a thought process? Like what triggered that mindset to occur for you?
Honestly, I'm not 100% certain.
It just kind of
It
it's
just
that
felt
one
right.
millionth of 100 things. It's just like it just happened. You just
Yeah, it just felt right. Like
okay.
it was euphoria whenever I was learning, whenever I
Oh,
was progressing, and I started to notice like, hey, I've gotten a lot better at this.
okay,
It was like an ultimate high.
got you.
I don't partake in drugs at all.
Damn, you don't smoke, you don't drink.
I smoke a little bit,
All right, all
just
right,
in my
all right.
off time. In
Okay.
my off
All
time,
right. We'll throw something out later.
I might take a half a shot like every other week.
Damn.
So to me, seeing that progression and getting better at something that I loved to do really became like my addiction.
Got you. Okay.
So
That's fire though.
it was. I don't think it was like one incident per se.
It was just it was a series of progressions of like, no, this is dope. Oh no, this, and then it just got better and better as you get further into it. Okay. When did you, or have you? No, you have to have found that at this point you don't suck. Like your beats aren't trash. So when did when did you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm good now. Like I'm not trash.
You know, I don't really think there's been one defining moment per se,
Okay.
because I still to this day feel like, damn, that beat sucks.
Like a recent joint that you did
Yeah,
or
even
something.
on some recent shit, I might be like, yeah, that I don't know what I was thinking with this one,
Damn. Okay.
but I really think if there was anything, it was getting some form of validation from Brian Kennedy.
Okay. Okay.
Sleaze, I can make trap beats all day. That's simple. We can touch on that in a minute because he's apparently a lot more than just a rapper. But anyways, I started to fuck around and like explore pop music and more into R&B. And it just so happens that Eric, the owner of Mid Range Music, has been knowing Brian Kennedy for a long time.
Wow.
Do you know who Brian Kennedy is?
I'm not gonna say that I do, but it sounds familiar.
So he's
Is that the, oh no, she pulled up Brian Kennedy for us. No, I'm
No, I
playing.
didn't. That's so funny though.
I want to say that's an R&B singer, which you just said that, but it sounds like a '90s R&B singer from like Mint Condition or Take Six or something like that, something in that range of things. But
So he's a producer who's from Kansas City.
okay,
Has worked on major projects.
okay. So he's not an
we're talking-
artist. He's a producer.
Yeah, he's a producer.
Oh shit. Okay, I need to get some
Classically
homework up
trained
then.
pianist. He's produced for Kelly Clarkson, Rascal Flatts. I want to say Usher. I know he helped out with a good chunk of the production on Rihanna's Anti album.
And he's from KC. Wow. I'm sure y'all knew this, but I didn't know this. So this is fucking fire. Thank you. This is why I do this. I love the discovery aspect. Okay, so all right, keep going. So you get connected to Brian Kennedy.
Yeah, well, I would say loosely. Like we just met
Okay.
more or less, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna need you to send me a pack because that's fire.
Okay.
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, holy shit,
What?
wow.
No, I mean that's.
It
I
was
would say
mind blowing.
that's some serious validation, right? To get
Right.
to be like, yeah, let me, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, somebody's like literally asking for work. You know what I mean? Oh shit,
Now
white boy did it.
he's a he's a busy guy, so I don't know if anything's ever come of
It
it.
doesn't
Or
matter though.
it
It
doesn't.
doesn't
Yeah, you're
matter.
right. It doesn't.
It's just and you know what? 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 3 months from now, who the fuck knows, right? Doesn't matter. It's like he could just come across and be like, oh yeah, so. God damn, and we got it here first. I fucking love it. Come on. Ooh. What's a beat or instrumental that like you don't necessarily need to hear anybody's vocals on? Like it's just like one of those favorite Johns of yours where you're like, yeah, I don't even need nobody to rap or sing or do nothing over this. I just want to hear this beat go. And it doesn't have to be one of yours. It could be something else or some totally non-related sound.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, all right.
I'm not too sure.
He's like, nah, all of this shit is made for something to hop on. Somebody's getting on this motherfucker.
Yeah. I would say for the most part, I think I do have a couple of beats that I'm like, dude, I could just listen to this over and over.
Okay, so.
But I mean, they're on my laptop, so
Okay, so, yeah.
it's not anything that's posted.
It's just yours that you're like, nah, I love this shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I mean, it's been sent off, but yeah.
Oh, so it could. It just hasn't. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, you don't have none that you're holding back. Like, I'm not letting nobody have that one just yet. You're like, nah, all y'all can get this work. I fucking love it, man. All right.
I think another one, I don't know if it's going on his projects. I was initially told it is, but I haven't gotten any paperwork yet, so we'll see. I made a beat for EBK J-Bo, and when I tell you I brought somebody in to help me interpolate a sample, we put a whole choir in the beat, like manually recorded one by one by one.
Oh, you go crazy. Yeah.
I tried to.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to elevate and come to like the next level. You know?
See, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's like some Dr. Dre shit. That's probably or Scott Storch shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Except I can't play keys that well.
not yet. Yeah, that well.
yet.
You see.
Not yet.
Yeah. I feel like it's coming. You might be KC Scott Storch or some shit, man. Let's go. I fuck with that. All right. I don't want to get into like the drama or the gossip of anything like that, right? But like, what are some common mistakes that you notice artists do in the studio? You know, that you feel could either, hey, if you didn't do that, it might make this flow a little better, or maybe you get a better outcome.
A couple things really. One, I would say proper planning for an artist. Like if you already have your songs written and okay, I don't know this song that well yet, but it's written down, so it's probably going to take me, I don't know, like an hour and a half to record just this song.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come in there trying to rush through and get 3 songs done in 3 hours if you know it's going to take you X amount of time just for one song.
Right.
And then also here in KC, the market for studios is actually really terrible.
Ooh.
In the sense that we're expected to do so much for like a seriously discounted price compared to every other major hub.
Okay.
For instance, out in Atlanta, right? You might go to Einer Studios.
Okay.
And they might charge you $300 just for the engineer to be present in the room. Then they will charge like $150 an hour for the studio time. If you want mixes, that's gonna be $750. Masters, they're gonna need $1,500. Dolby Atmos, they're gonna need 2 bands.
Damn.
But here in KC, we're expected record, mix, master, $60 an hour.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
wait. So let's go back to the engineer in the room. Like, I mean, that's you said that as if that's separate from studio time.
Yeah.
So just to have him in the room, not necessarily pushing the buttons and recording you, just to be here and available to push the buttons is a set price.
Technically, that should be a separate price, yeah.
Wow.
But to survive out here in the KC market, you got to be hands on the keyboard the entire time.
Damn. Okay. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so in that sense, then the artists are winning.
I would say so, yeah. As long as they're making it worth their time. Because I've also got a lot of guys that'll come in and they'll just kiki ha ha for 2 hours and be pissed off that they didn't get, 4 songs recorded in the last 2 hours of their 4-hour session.
So there's twice now you've mentioned they're pissed off. And I assume that they're pissed off at themselves, but I'm just curious, who's at fault here? Like let me put it this way. If you're running, not really running, but if you're engineering the session, is it your place to be like, all right, guys, you've got 2 hours left, or where are we at with this song? Like, is it your job to move things along, or do you go at their pace? How does that work?
I think it really depends on the vibe.
Okay.
Because it's different if you have somebody come in and everyone's got drink, everyone's got smoke, rooms packed, they're all vibing. Because if they're paying for the time and all they really wanted to do in the first place was vibe, then I'm not going to be on anybody's ass about let's get a song done.
Right.
But if someone comes in and like they're just running by themselves and they're talking like, yeah, I want to get this, and this done. Also, can we check on this maybe a little bit later? If they come in and they have expectations, then yeah, I'm gonna.
You're kind of working towards it.
Hey, let's make sure that we're getting this because I want to make sure you're taken care of.
See, back to my earlier comment, man. You're a hustler because you're just going with the flow of what's there and you're making it work. I mean, either way, you're getting paid, but you're gonna make sure that you're giving people the service that they're paying for.
Right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the way I see it is that's only right. Like,
it's good business.
Yeah, and good business will take you further than any kind of business.
I like that. We're gonna sprinkle some salt for that motherfucker. Ooh. This is a question we call studio feng shui.
Okay.
What are some things from your perspective? What are some things that have to be in the studio in order for it to feel like a good session? And what are some things that should not be in the studio in order for you to feel like it's a good session?
Drama has to be caught at the door.
Just like
any drama, any negativity, unless you rapping about it or singing about it on the mic, I don't want to hear it.
It's like
me personally, I think I try to, I think I've got a good vibe about me. Mm-hmm. I always try to stay high energy, smile, crack stupid ass jokes.
See, I told you how you
just
funny,
because,
man.
I mean, well, that's another thing. At the end of the day, you don't know what someone's going through, so I try to put a smile on everybody's face.
There we go.
Because there was one time that a smile kept me going another day.
See,
but that just explains why I keep high energy. But because I feel that way about life, I don't want to be in drama. I don't want to be in negativity. I don't want to be surrounded by it. Because now we all feel like shit. What's up? Like, we got nowhere. Great.
I said, what's up? Shit, fuck we doing, man? I love it. I love it, man. All right, so this one here is chicken or the egg question. And what I mean by that, and I think this one's really, usually I ask the artist, right? Like what starts the song, the beat or the lyrics, right? And for you, it's kind of like what sparks the beat or what sparks the instrumental, right? Is it is it a random thought? Is it a random sound? Is it a random melody? Like what's the trigger? It could be a snare, like what?
It's really anything.
Okay.
The other day I sampled the Boondocks just because I had the intro song from season 1 just playing in my head. So I'm like, yep. Went in there, copied up the horns, laid some 808s on it, and I haven't touched it since. But
that's what sparked it, though. That's
what
how
sparked
it happens. Okay.
But sometimes I'll have somebody come in and they'll already have a beat, but they want something different. And so I'll listen to what they're saying, and I'll go off their words, or I'll listen to their energy and go off how they're expressing themselves.
So then at that point, you're constructing custom beats in that sense too.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're a talented motherfucker then, man. To be low key and humble.
I'm just a regular guy.
Okay, well.
It took me 8 years to get to where I'm at. It took me 8 years of just learning and learning and learning.
But let's talk about where you're at though, right? Like, and this is kind of a kudos in a sense. I want to come back to that, but like 8 years for someone who started from scratch, came out of a basement, just out there on his own in a sense, right?
It's a cliche producer story.
You know what I'm saying? Like kind of some 8 Mile shit, and then the name is White Boy Did It. Like, come on, man. Like, but you've really made it though, right? You have a very low key but well respected studio that you're working out of. You're connected to multiple artists in that sense. You mentioned Sleaze right off the top. I mean, actually, I want to kind of. If you wouldn't mind, like let's kind of touch on some of the different artists that you have worked with, whether it be out of mid range or not. You've got a fucking resume, so.
It's not big yet, but I like to think it's growing.
Okay, all
right. Just by happenstance, I got to link up with Rich the Factor.
Okay.
So I've recorded a lot with Rich. Recently, I think I've handled the majority of his projects since March, April of last year.
So that's
every project he's released since then, I've had my hands on it in one way, shape, or form. I know he also be recording with Jazz every now and then too. So sometimes I'll send shit to Jazz, sometimes Jazz will send shit to me. But Rich, I've worked with T-Rail. I want to say he's from Topeka.
Yeah.
Topeka. He just moved to Kansas City.
Oh shit! I know he was up in the town now. Okay,
yeah, I think so. I might be wrong.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw him post that he just moved to KC.
Right. Up here hitting the Walmarts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Being T-Rail putting belly on back.
Yes.
I love T-Rail, man. I love him. He's cool. He's got a lot of energy. Like a lot of energy.
Okay.
Whenever he comes in the room, he's fired up. Like he's just ready to go.
Let's get it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
He moves fast too. I actually want to attribute a little bit of my speed to working with him because whenever you're put on the spot like that,
you got to adjust, right?
Working fast as hell.
And then you met that challenge, and so now that's your benchmark in a way. Or you're okay.
So T-Rail, I've worked with Miss Star Bands. She's, I want to say, from Chicago.
Wow.
Babyface E, I've got a song with him that's going to be coming soon, I hope. I don't know. We've got to look at the track list again. I've recorded Rob 49, but I don't think it was anything like real serious. It was after Sleazy Day, the first one last year.
Yeah, because we're on the second annual, just not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so last year, everybody ended up pulling up to the studio a little after the show, and they just all came in. K Carbon, Rob 49, I want to say Skilla Baby was there. Sleaze, Gloss Up, Gloss Up.
Jeez, man. See, but that's my point though. Is like I get it. You are definitely like one of those cats that it's not so much that it's not good enough. It's just like no, I could do better. You know what I mean? And you're always improving yourself. But you've got a hell of a resume, my guy. There's a lot of motherfuckers in KC that would just they'd lose their shit to be able to even have a fraction of kind of the connection you have. You know, so.
And man,
kudos
honestly,
to you.
It kind of sucks sometimes because I feel myself like starting to not care too much about it anymore. At first, I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, this is crazy. But now I'm like, oh, yeah, I know, bro. Like, I'm not.
It's starting to become default, a little jaded.
Yeah, like, it just, like, oh, yeah, I forget. Yeah, he's a human being just like everybody else. Like, it's not really anything, like, special to me anymore. But it is still rewarding. It just doesn't feel like anything out of the ordinary.
Well, that's a good thing, though, in some cases, right? Like
I think so.
Because some of that, that starstruck shit
Yeah.
is gone, right? Now you can work on a semi-even, equal level, right? I like that. And then they end up appreciating it too, right? Like, all right, all that bullshit's out the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
for me, if I were a celebrity, I think the last thing I would want is somebody like, oh man, let's make sure we get a picture, bro. Like,
Let's not do that.
I met you one time, bro. Like, chill out.
Yeah, we not. Chill, see, chill. I ain't gonna be running up on them with that shit, y'all. All right, so, kind of a good segue. Y'all know I love segues. Is it better to be well known or well respected, especially in the music industry?
Well respected.
Okay.
I feel like you can be well known for the wrong reasons.
There
Like,
you go.
I want to say like NLE Chopper, right?
Okay.
I don't know if he's respected as much as he is known because of the outrageous music he makes.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
the shit he's been dropping is like,
Like
Huh?
what's going on over there?
like, bro, what?
This is what we're doing?
I mean,
Okay.
it's a hit. Don't
But-
get me wrong. Like, this is fire, but like, whoa, like we are way left field from where we thought you were going.
Yeah.
He started out talking about walking him down. Now he's slut me out.
Yeah,
Like, bro,
it's-
what?
Artist growth, y'all. Artist growth. We gotta.
Artists do. They expand. They expand big time.
So, couple more questions, man. First of all, comedy or horror? What's your go-to?
Depends.
On
Am
like
I
if it was a
kicked up?
rough session? No, it's like it depends on if it was a rough session. But know what?
It depends. Like you're talking about like movies, right? Am I caked up on the couch with my girl with a bag of popcorn?
Yes.
Horror.
Okay.
But if we're just on some funny shit, or we just went outside and smoked a little bit, we're coming in comedy
Comedy. Okay.
right off the rip.
Okay.
Being high and watching a horror movie is terrifying for me. I'm like, what the hell?
Crazy. Like,
It's trippy.
get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna go over there.
Go make a beat. Go make some,
Some pizza rolls.
insane killer posse beats or some shit. Okay. This is the part where we do got to pay some bills. Shout out to our sponsors. This is the sponsored session. Here's the part where we do got to pay some bills. Shout out to our sponsors. Let's get started with a couple of our sponsored questions segment here. First one goes out to Thrax Pastry. Number one sponsor. Nothing for sale here, just a suggestion of where you could spend some time. You'll probably enjoy the journey. I almost guarantee it, but I'm not giving you no money back. This question is super simple. What's your go-to comfort food? Like you're on the couch with your girl chilling. You just had a 13-hour studio session. What's something that you're gonna eat that you're just like, my day is done?
I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know, cause
He doesn't relax much. That's what he's saying.
pretty much. I by default, because of my girl, we often just get some Taco Bell
That's fire.
because
Okay.
she loves Taco Bell. But
Fourth meal works, man.
me, I'm like, no facts.
Just saying.
Facts. For me, this is whatever's gonna be in the freezer that I can air fry real quick.
Boom,
French
okay.
fries, chicken McNuggets. You got pizza rolls, the little hash browns.
Now,
Yeah.
wait, why did you say McNugs? Is that the grown folk way of saying like we're too grown to say McNuggets? After 18, it becomes McNugs.
I don't know.
No, I'm just fucking with you. It just works. It works, man. It's gonna catch on. All right.
Chicken McNuggets.
See? All right, so this one comes from our sponsor, Bargain Hunters Paradise. First Friday weekends, Friday and Saturday, Sunday, down at Westport Bottoms, they have a whole vendor market set up. And my question with this one is really, it's really a matter of just comparing the idea between the mall experience and the vendor market, right? So in both sets, you've got all of these vendors, these stores, these people, sights, and smells. Which one attracts you more, and which one's going to keep you between a mall experience and a vendor market experience?
I would probably lean more towards vendors.
Okay, why is that?
Vendor markets, I think, predominantly small businesses,
Okay,
and I'd much rather put the money in a small business than in some corporate giant.
you don't want the fly shit from the mall though.
No.
Okay, all right, I like that.
Dude, this whole fits from the thrift store. I don't really give a damn.
Look at it.
Except for these. I got these at Hibbett like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Busted.
I mean, they, you know what? They look like they did a couple runs. They did put a couple hits on the board. Musically, come on, guys, come on. All right, so this is the last question. This one goes out to Sherry's Executive Lounge. Nothing wrong with dressing up to slow down. They always have some great music, great drinks, and of course, great cigars. Also, if you check out pretty soon, I don't know if this will be dropping by around that time, but they have their first annual, or maybe it just passed, but they had their first annual KC Cigar Festival. So make sure you tap in and check them out and just tell them I said hi. My question here, though, is when do you, assuming you probably don't even smoke actually, but if you were to light up a cigar, when would you light up a cigar? When would be that time?
Probably at the end of a day.
Okay.
I really don't smoke, but if I were to take a guess, probably at the end of the day, get yourself a little nicotine buzz, just relax,
And chill.
maybe a little glass of wine or a glass of whiskey.
There you go.
Just be done, shut down.
You gonna put on a smoking jacket or you know, like a nice nice fedora or something? I can see you in a, I don't know why, man. I want to see you in a nice hat, like a little chill hat.
Fedora.
Yeah. It's got to match the glasses, though. It's got to match the glasses, man. All right, man. Look,
Be looking like the dude from the Blacklist.
see, yeah, see. No, you could pull it off, man. You could pull that shit off.
I'm big enough.
All right, man. Look, here's the last question. I ask everybody this question, man, and I really appreciate your time. When it's all said and done, when the session is over, when the music has been played and you've gotten the beat out there, what's the experience that you want the people to walk away with as far as a white boy made this kind of beat or song? You know what I mean?
It's kind of a blend between, holy shit, that guy's professional, and man, I felt comfortable like I was at home in my robe.
I like that.
That's just me. Like I don't know. I want to leave a feeling afterwards that feel comfortable to come back. You can be yourself. You can be open, but also understand that the quality that I produce isn't what you're gonna get anywhere else.
Damn, you out here trying to raise the market rates out here for y'all, man. Shit.
I wouldn't mind getting paid more.
Cut that man a check or two, man. So look, man, I really, really appreciate you. We're gonna have to do this again. I have to bring you back. With that, y'all, I'm out of time. We're out of time. It's been a hell of a conversation here at Syke Studios. Bump Jonas here with none other than
White Boy Made This.
Now look, y'all, as I always say, love yourself like you try to love the world. Do something to earn your place in the world this week. And just be some dope motherfuckers. Y'all have a good one. Peace.